And we are here to share our appreciation and thanks for the incredible support that Volunteer BC has received from the Trillium Foundation for 3 very important grants. The ELF's Youth Program grant, which we just finalized, the Boardwalk project, which is focused on engaging newcomers in leadership positions on boards and committees so that we can have a more accurate reflection of the diverse community that Peel is. And then we have the Resilient Communities grant that we've received, which will really help us to sustain Volunteer MBC's fund development way beyond the pandemic. That's our goal. So with me are a few of our Trillium program staff, our Director of Operations, and volunteers who are really helping us with all our programming. Sean Abbasi, our Community Engagement Manager, will now provide a brief introduction to Volunteer MBC.
I'd like to share a little bit about Volunteer MBC for those who may not be as familiar with us. So we're an organization that fuels purposeful connections between people to respond to the most pressing social issues in our community. And the reason we exist, our vision, is to improve lives through volunteerism. So we're a registered charity that's been active since 2008, serving Peel Region, Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. We're an active member of the Ontario Volunteer Centre Network and Volunteer Canada. We're a collective comprised of a member base of over 200 not-profit organizations in Peel. We're a service provider, mobilizing thousands of volunteers to the causes that need them. A capacity builder, so we support organizations with their volunteer management and learning services especially. And then we're a champion in bringing together residents and organizations around shared values. So what we do is broken into 4 major areas. We connect and contribute. We help facilitate meaningful involvement of volunteers and get people connected to the causes that need them and help organizations recruit and engage those volunteers. We inform and inspire people. We promote and celebrate the power of volunteerism. We're raising awareness of community needs and assets, recognizing excellence to thank volunteers and inspire others. We strengthen organizational effectiveness and strategy through our learning center, where we train boards and staff to be more effective and efficient, and bringing organizations together to share resources and collaborate. And we assemble and activate volunteers, people in the community, to work together, and we inspire collective action among key stakeholder groups, including youth, seniors, and newcomers, so that people can make a positive difference. During COVID, we've been very busy, and we've been providing ways for organizations and essential services to collaborate and share resources, implementing an emergency plan to quickly deploy volunteers, and provide training to protect volunteers and vulnerable populations and essential services. And also we're helping transition volunteer positions to virtual volunteer roles. So essentially we're a multi-sided platform where we are encouraging our community to get involved and so that they can improve their own skills and employability, their health and well-being, and their community belonging through volunteerism. And for the organizations, strengthening the relationships between them, their partnerships, and increasing their ability to engage volunteers. So that's a little bit about the organization. And as Karine mentioned, we're very thankful for the support from the Ontario Trillium Foundation, who has been supporting us along the way for a number of years. In recent history, we've had a few very interesting projects, including the Early Leaders in Volunteering project, and its 2020 iteration of the Early Leaders in Volunteering Activators. And then Shaminda will speak a little bit to Boardwalk, and Karine will speak a little bit to the Resilient Communities Fund. And we have, of course, Minister Sarkaria here from as an MPP for Brampton South. And we're so thankful for his time. For a quick moment here, I'd like to be able to show a quick video.
Volunteering has opened my eyes to many places, made me realize that this is something I could do, maybe like for fun a lot.
I would recommend other people to volunteer because it basically helps the community in a positive aspect. It makes you a better person because you feel happy from inside. You open a whole new door to opportunities, and I think it's amazing.
It gets you out there. It can benefit you in the future. You never know what skills you learn that can help you.
always just like putting a smile on my face, making sure like everyone around me is also happy, and because you need a good attitude to volunteer.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you from me as well, Minister Sarkaria and your team for joining our call today. To briefly describe the Boardwalk program in Peel, many organizations generally have to put a lot of effort in finding their board directors and also recruiting the right fit for their board. At the same time, as the Volunteer Center, we are constantly encouraging the social purpose organizations in Peel to maintain a board that reflects the diversity of the community and the clients that they serve. To address these 2 points, we started to gradually design a program which is now known as the Boardwalk program. Being a region that is rich in diversity and also lucky to have a large volume of new immigrants who are highly skilled, the Boardwalk program is designed as an experiential learning program and also a career development opportunity for its participants. We take the participants through a comprehensive e-learning program and then give them the opportunity to be engaged in a board-led committee or as well as to experience an actual board meeting. As we implement, we will leverage the luxury of our own board to give the participants that opportunity with that experiential component. But we also partner with and we welcome partnerships with other social purpose organizations in Peel to join us with this experiential component. It is a win-win for all parties. We are able to give new immigrants and racialized communities to demonstrate their professional skills and leadership skills. The social purpose organizations will have an opportunity to recruit from the program. In other words, we as a volunteer center, we are able to produce a pool of board directors who know what being a board member is all about and the support that they should be giving the social purpose organizations. So it's a win-win for all parties. And the sector itself is, we are able to build the sector's capacity. And like Sean mentioned earlier, we have the Ontario Trillium Foundation to thank for making this program a realization in Peel. Without the generous support, it would still have been in the design phase. So that's a brief overview about the Boardwalk program.
Great. Thank you so much, Shaminda, for sharing that. And finally, I'll talk about the third grant that we received, which is the most recent one through the Resilient Communities Fund. And there's no question that COVID-19 has impacted our work by limiting our ability to generate revenue. As a volunteer center, which serves residents across Peel, we rely heavily on both donations and special events, sponsorships, and other revenue that we generate. So last year, for instance, we had to offer free memberships to our nonprofits in Peel, and all our learning revenue disappeared since we offered all our courses and our forums, our COVID-related forums, they were all offered for free. So as part of the mandated closure also, our facility, which we're part of Community Door, so it has large boardrooms that we typically use to run some of our special events and our workshops, consulting services, and in-person volunteer referrals. And of course, that was not possible last year either. So due to these special events restrictions and lost membership, and the Learning Center revenues, if we compare the revenues that we generated from 2020 versus 2019, our fundraising efforts were down 64%, and our overall fund development was down 59%. So with the future uncertainty, COVID-19 continues to negatively impact our ability to generate funds. And that's why we're so grateful to receive the Trillium Resilient Communities Fund grant. We received a grant for $73,000, and it will really help us to rebuild and recover. This grant has actually allowed us to hire a fund development consultant and a fund development coordinator, and Nadine is with us on the screen, to develop a plan focused on financial sustainability and recovery. So prior to the pandemic, 35% of our revenue came from our own fund development efforts. And we know that the next few years are going to be tough for nonprofits who aren't fundraising successfully. So COVID-related subsidies and grants we know are going to dry up, and we've been very fortunate, but we know that that's not going to continue, and that's why we're so grateful for this grant to really help us weather the changing tides that are inevitable. So on behalf of all of us, thank you so much to the Trillium Foundation. With your support, we will continue to change thousands of lives through volunteerism. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we can invite Minister Sarkaria to give any remarks that he wished to add.
Yes, no, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today, and it's you know, a great opportunity as I get to continue to learn about the incredible organizations that are out there in the community, serving so many different needs, and this is a great example. Your organization is a great example of that, and I'm happy that the Ontario Trillium Foundation, through the government of Ontario, has been able to help. I know COVID's been a very difficult year, as you just mentioned, in terms of the revenues, how you've been impacted. Talking to many not-for-profits over the last couple of weeks, which with respect to donations, gala dinners, just holding events where so many sponsors would come out. So many community events that just couldn't happen this year. So we've seen a significant decline within that area of revenue generation, and it's it's important for us as we look towards opening programs like the Resilient Community Funds. I'm happy that organizations such as yours were able to benefit from that to a certain extent, and be able to use that as support to help you get through this very difficult time. It also gives us an opportunity to learn how to pivot. I guess make an opportunity out of every situation. How can we do things better? How can we pivot digitally? Where can we use this to an advantage? So I think when we come out of COVID and when we get back on track, given that we were vaccinating at such a high level now, I think we're going to be set up for a great return for many events that will happen, many community events. I know people are itching to get out there to their favorite events every year, favorite gala dinners, favorite community picnics, barbecues that happen so often every summer. Schedules are usually filled with that, so I think that's something that we all really look forward to, and I know it will help so many in the community when that does start to happen. The boardwalk program is a great example. I'm really happy that organizations such as yours are working on programs like this, because it is really important to have representation on boards. Embracing newcomers that come to Ontario, getting them involved not only in our not-for-profit systems, but other individuals in our communities that don't have those opportunities. It's a great way to build experience. It's a great way to ensure that as a community, we have a good representation, better decision making, arises out of that. And being able to connect people to organizations, I think, is a really good model that you have put forward. It's also a great way for the community to stay engaged. It's a great way for you to stay engaged with the community and many different non-for-profit sector partners as well. So I think that's a great program, and I'm happy that we've been able to support that. And I really do look forward to coming by one time when learning more about it, whether it's in person or seeing how the onboarding process works, how from start to finish, how somebody can get involved. We would be happy to promote this as well through our channels, as we have many people that come into our offices, always looking for new opportunities, looking to get involved with the community. So this is definitely a great example of that. So I just want to commend the entire team here for the incredible work that you've been doing. All the efforts of having to pivot during COVID. I know it's not easy. You guys have done an incredible job And all of you being here is a testament to that ability to pivot and continue working through these very difficult situations. So thank you to each and every single one of you for being here. Thank you to all of you for the incredible work that you do, and we look forward to continuing to support that, continuing to work together, and hopefully hosting these type of events in person at some point. So thank you very much, and I will pass it back over to the team.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to us, and absolutely when we're in a better condition, when we can meet again, we would love for you to come over and see our office. You know, we have actually had to reduce our space, but we're still in community door. But just to save costs, we have decided to go to a permanent hybrid model where we will continue to have staff working from home and rotating, and some of our staff will still be at the office, but we really look forward to that opportunity. And if it's okay with you, you've just given us a great idea. And Sean, I'm sure your ears must be ringing, because Sean is responsible for community outreach. And so if there is an opportunity to share any volunteer opportunities with your and that you can pass on to your constituents, that would be absolutely wonderful. Like right now, we're really actively looking for volunteers to help at the vaccination clinics, and so the more volunteers we can get working with the region of Peel to make this happen, the more people we can get vaccinated, the sooner that we can get on and do the work that's so important, and do less of it virtually, which we're really looking forward to. And on that note, finally, we do have a very important event coming up other than our AGM. We also have our virtual Voskers, which is typically a big gala to celebrate and recognize volunteers across Peel region. And it's a take on the actual Oscars. And so we have been able to pivot. And last year in September, we had our first virtual Voskers, and it was really, really successful. It was the show was watched by tons and tons of people. And we really had an opportunity to recognize those incredible volunteers. And so on June 17th, which is just around the corner, we're doing it again to recognize this year's volunteers. And we also have a Business Vitality Award to recognize a business that has really stepped forward during the pandemic. But there's also awards for Lifetime Achievement, and for the Power of Giving Award, which is the Hazel McCallion Power of Giving Award, and for many other categories, Young Leader of Tomorrow, and so on. So we would love an opportunity for you to share that as well. Everybody is welcome to watch. We've got some great entertainment. It's a free event, and the more people we can welcome, the better. And to have an opportunity to really celebrate all these incredible volunteers. So thank you so much. And if we also, we can continue to share in your newsletter that you send out. I know I subscribe to it, and you always have really interesting information that I think we can use that to help reach out to your constituents. That would be wonderful. So thank you again on behalf of all of us. We truly, truly appreciate all the support that the Trillium Foundation is currently giving us, but the belief in our organization and the support that we have received in the past is one of the reasons why, almost 13 years into this, we have been able to really identify that we can do this work, and it wouldn't happen without the support from the Ontario government and many other supporters. So thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much. And we'll look forward to doing that, and happy to connect on the newsletters as well and share the information for sure.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Should we do a big shout out and A big thank you all around.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Really,
you,
really
everyone that
appreciate
participated
this.
very much.
Appreciate